Hello, fantasy sports fans. Happy Thursday. Welcome to MFSN, The Hub. It is our weekly fantasy baseball waiver wire show. I am your host, Kasey Scheinfeld. I am here, as always, with the one and only Ross the Boss.
Hey, everybody, I'm Ross the Boss. And I want to talk Major League Baseball waiver wire with you, cowboy. As you see, I have Michael Jordan behind me. You're saying, why do you have Michael Jordan behind you on your baseball show? Well, today is game 6 of the Golden State Celtics championship game. So I'm just trying to get some basketball spirit before it goes away at the end of the week.
Do you think it's going away at the end of the week, or do you think it's going away at the end of the night?
I think there's game 7. No, it's going to go game 7. San Francisco will party like crazy when the Warriors win the game 7 over the weekend.
Okay. So you think the Warriors are going to win it, but you don't think they're going to win tonight? So you think Tatum and Brown keep them in the series for one more
Williams, game? The rest, the whole get smart. The whole gang is because they'll be pumped up and they'll win tonight.
All right. Well, we could talk baseball we want, but we don't think that's why the viewers are here today. They want to hear what we have going on for fantasy baseball this week. To review, we're going to go over what we think are the top pickups this week based on Yahoo's 60% and under ownership. We're going to focus just on players who are owned by less than 60%. In Yahoo leagues. So Ross, let's do what we normally do. Why don't we start with your top 4 pickups for the week?
So these are the top 4 people you should absolutely go after as soon as you hear this. It's our cover guy, Michael Harris the second, not Michael Harris the first, Michael Harris the second. I don't know why they do that. They put like the second down when their dad's not playing baseball or anything. Not new with the game.
Well, maybe his son is.
I know, but it's just like, there's one Michael Harris. You don't have to put the second or the third or fourth, whatever. So Michael Harris, 21 years old, the youngest player in Major League Baseball right now. We'll talk about him more in depth later in the show, but he's my number 1 pickup of the week. Christian Bethancourt of Oakland. He plays catcher. He plays outfield. We'll talk about him too. He's been tearing it up. Unbelievable. He's hitting over 400 in the past 2 weeks. He's killing it. Hunter Green of the Reds. I mean, he started out horribly. And all of a sudden, like the past 2 weeks, his ERA is under 1. He's playing unbelievable. Every start he has, he's like coming close with no hitters now. He's really getting the groove. Hunter Green, if you need a pitcher and he's available in your league, pick him up. And then another guy that's been tearing it up, he's probably available in your league, is Adam Duvall of Atlanta. Another Brave I'm picking up. The past week, he's been on fire. We'll talk about that later in the show.
Yeah, I like those. Michael Harris is obviously one of the young kind of rising stars, it feels like, in the game. So he's certainly a great pickup. Adam Duvall is one of the streakiest players ever. He'll go through a stretch, it feels like, for 3 weeks where he'll hit at least 3 home runs a week and drive in 15 runs, and then he'll go ice cold for a month. So it's really good to ride that hot streak. I like that one. I'm going to throw in Ezekiel Duran of the Texas Rangers. This kid was just called up. In the past 7 days, he's batting .333. He's got 2 stolen bases, and he qualifies at second, third, and short. This is a young kid who's really tearing the cover off the ball. So that would be another one I would aim for this week. We tend to go position by position, so let's do that. You mentioned Bethancourt. Do you have any other catchers you would recommend?
No, the catcher position, we talk about this every week. It's very sparse. It's very small. People pick up. The only one I like right now, and he's kind of a streaker, is Kell Raleigh of Seattle. Past 2 weeks, he has 3 home runs. He's hitting .273 with 8 RBIs. And for the catcher position, that's really good. Because if you look overall, the catchers that are available, there's not many. But the 2 I like are Bethancourt and Raleigh. I'll take those guys all day long. But that's about it I have right now.
Yeah. Now, if you're looking for somebody who's hot, Kyle Higashioka, the last couple weeks has hit 4 home runs, including a big one last night, or 3 home runs, including a big 3-run home run off Shane McClanahan last night, which is pretty impressive. He's been playing well lately. Jorge Alfaro's putting up decent numbers that won't hurt you. But the one I like is Gabriel Moreno in Toronto. He's their top prospect. He finally got called up last week. He hasn't hit for power yet, but in the last week, he's batting almost 400. He's getting the opportunity to play. Alejandro Kirk has been pushed to the DH role. I don't know how long it's going to last. Obviously, Danny Jansen is out with a fractured finger, which can be pretty devastating for a catcher, so he could be up for a while. But before I move on, the Fantasy Hustler wanted me to say what up to you, Ross. I know you're good friends with him, so what up?
We're doing a show together starting in July about fantasy football.
Yeah, tell us about it. Go ahead.
So Hustler and I will crash like Rams on fantasy ideas and idealists that we are. We'll talk football, not baseball. We're talking fantasy football, which I'm excited about because in July we'll talk about drafts and preparing for drafts and what you should look out for, what you shouldn't do, what you should do. So we'll have I'm very excited with the Hustler, and if you guys should check him out. His social media stuff is blowing up. He's unbelievable.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, we've met him. We've had him on our show. He's awesome. He's incredibly knowledgeable. I know he has a good following. I'm excited to see what you two bring. There could be that could be a lot of fun to watch. And
listen, I don't tell people to gamble, but remember with our picks in football, I was like 76% in what time giving picks with the points in football. So, and he's a big gambler too. So we're going to have a lot of fun.
All right. Chris Atwater has a question for Ross the Boss. He says, you're an expert on all things Ross the Boss, but especially the Cincinnati teams. Is Kyle Farmer a keeper? According to Just Bob, he thinks you just keep him for now, kind of more rates him, it sounds like, as a streaker.
I think he's going to be the Cincinnati Reds all-star when the all-star game is. Him or Brandon Drury, one of the two. But Kyle Farmer's having a great year. I mean, this guy, you've got to keep him. I mean,
and he's batting 400 the last 2 weeks.
He plays shortstop and plays third base. I mean, he can play anywhere, on that side of the field. I mean, Kyle Farmer, when he's hot, you keep him. I mean, last year he did the same thing. The last month of September, he was unbelievable.
Yeah, you'd like to see more power out of him, but you can't deny the skills.
Brandon Drury, I loved also. I think he'll be an all-star also. So I'm curious to see who gets picked to be in the all-star team between those two. But it's me, one of those two people.
Okay. All right. So we're going to go position by position again. Let's go to first base. Who do you have as your top 2 or 3 first base?
I love this one, Case. I'm taking your ex Yankee,
Luke Voit. Yep.
Luke Voit. I mean, this guy is in the groove. He's back. He's off that injury. He's been killing the ball. He's somebody that if you need a first base is so heavy. I mean, there's so many great first basemen. So I don't know if you have room on your roster for Luke Voit, but if you do, pick him up. Maybe put him at utility. I don't know, but it's my number one pickup at first base right now. Nathaniel Lowe of Texas, he's been killing the ball the past 2 weeks, 352, 6 home runs, Casey Scheinfeld. And he's been just destroying the ball. I mean, in Texas, I told you, when he gets hot in Texas, the ball flies out of there. So Lowe is probably available in your league if you need a first baseman. Another guy that's a first baseman, and you'll love this guy, is Matt Carpenter, plays for your Yankees.
The stash.
I love that mustache. I got to grow one. But Carpenter, I mean, he's hitting over the past 2 weeks, over 400, 4 home runs, tearing the cover off the ball. He didn't do this in St. Louis. I mean, now he's a Yankee. Now he feels comfortable. Now he's hitting. So
he sees that short porch and right, and he knows he doesn't have to swing hard.
God, I wish I played there. But I think I know he's not available, but I think Aaron Judge is going to have at least 65 home runs this year. Here for me first, Ross the Boss. But again, first base is so heavy, and again, if you need a first baseman, they're on waiver wire for you.
Yeah, I love Luke Voit. That was my top pickup of the week for first base. It's certainly in the majors.
He's been hitting the ball great.
I'm going to do something a little different today because we're getting to the part of the season where we see a lot of the prospects get called up and given their opportunity. So I'm going to try to focus on a prospect at each position if there's one available that I think you should pick up. And I have 2 for first base. One is Vinny Pasquantino for the Kansas City Royals. I don't know if you've seen this guy's numbers, but so far in 208 at-bats this year in the minors, he's got a 284 average, 17 home runs, and a 990 OPS with almost an even split between walks and strikeouts. This kid is a monster, and he should be getting called up now or at least very soon. And another one is somebody who actually started the season in the majors, has already had a good season in the majors, but is in the minors because of a wrist injury, and that's Alex Kiriloff of the Minnesota Twins. He qualifies at first base and outfield in 125 at-bats. So, half the at-bats that Pasquantino has had, who we've talked about, he's batting 370 with 10 home runs and an 1130 OPS. He is absolutely smashing the ball. He's done it before. He's led the minors, I think, in home runs in the past. So this is a guy, the only reason he's not up is because there's not a lot of room for him. I mean, they have Miranda and Max Kepler and Luis Arias, who are all doing well. But Trevor Larnach is playing pretty poorly lately.
Horrible.
I think Kiriloff could get the call soon. I would get him now. He qualifies at first base and outfield, and he could be somebody you can run with. So I'm going to look at those two prospects at first base. So let's do your middle infielders. I'm not just going to go second, third, and then short. I'm going to say, give me a few middle infielders we can target, because a lot of these guys play multiple positions.
Bryson Stott of Philadelphia had the big home run a couple days ago. Past 2 weeks, 11 RBIs, 4 home runs. He plays second. I think he qualifies at a different position too, but he's
second and short. Yeah,
second and short. Thank you. Santiago Espinal hitting .412 the past 2 weeks. Kasey Scheinfeld, 2 home runs, 12 RBIs in the past 2 weeks alone. And he plays in Toronto, with that lineup I told you, they're a powerful lineup, unbelievable lineup, and he hits right in the middle there. So I like him a lot. I also like Jake Berger. I know our comrade, Dr. Dan Ratner, liked him middle of the week. He's hurt. He's been sitting out for a little bit, but the past 2 weeks, 4 home runs, hitting over 350, plays third base, plays for the White Sox. I like him a lot. I feel he'll just get better and better when it gets hotter and hotter in Chicago. I like him. And then, I've been saying his name for a while, is Matt Reynolds of the Reds. That stadium's a joke to hit home runs in. You can bunt and it goes over the fence. Doesn't make a difference. But Matt Reynolds, he plays a couple positions too. In the past 2 weeks, he's hitting .277 with 3 home runs. If they give him the opportunity to play, he'll keep hitting. He'll keep hitting. And there's a lot of injuries right now going on in the infield. So you may want to pick him up. I don't know. But those are my major pickups are in the infield, the ones I just gave you.
Yeah, and I agree with those. I agree with Just Bob, who just put on the chat that John Birdie in Miami they have him running wild, and he's just stealing bases. And
I told about last week he had 7 stolen bases.
Right. He has respectable numbers in the other categories, and the steals alone can propel you way up the rankings certainly in a rotisserie league.
Right now in Yahoo, what's percentage on them? He's been getting picked up a lot.
Let's see.
Every time I go on there,
he's only at 34%.
He was at 20-something last week. So
yeah,
these guys go quick. It's unbelievable how quick they go up.
I already mentioned Ezekiel Duran, who plays second, qualifies at second, third, and short. He's in the last 2 weeks, 8 runs scored, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, 2 steals, a .326 average. They're going to give him a chance to play. Texas isn't playing for anything, so why wouldn't they let their young guys run?
Is he any relation to Roberto Duran? Because today is Roberto Duran's birthday.
The boxer? I'm not sure.
Okay,
that'd be an interesting one.
I just made that up. It's a very common name in Latin America, Duran. So I'm sure he's.
Yeah. John Birdie's got 14 stolen bases on the year. That's right, Just Bob. Good point there. I'm going to name somebody in the minor leagues who qualifies at second base, but I think he's going to come up with as an outfielder, and his name is Esteori Ruiz. I had never heard of him until about a week ago, and I was doing some research, but this is not a lie. He has a .478 on-base percentage right now and 37 stolen bases in 48 games.
And
in San Diego. In San Diego. In Double-A.
In Double-A, okay.
He's, he also popped 3 home runs last week. This guy is crazy, and with some of the struggles that the Padres, I'm looking at you, Grisham, are having, offensively, and with oh my gosh, I'm blanking.
There's Chenworth.
With Tatis's return being delayed, they could use some juice. And this kid can run. Obviously, he's in San Antonio. He .478 on base and 37 stolen bases in 48 games. That's somebody who's only 2% owned in Yahoo. Somebody who I would look at to add if you have the space at the bottom of your roster. Because if he gets called up, we're talking somebody who can run wild. So that's another one I would consider. The other one I have here is Eduardo Escobar. Not a prospect, obviously. He's older. I think he could be the parent of some of these prospects given his age.
He's not related to the drug dealer Escobar.
Yes, Pablo. I think it is. Yeah.
Okay.
He might be his witness protection name. I don't know. He qualifies at first, second, and third. And he's batting .283 with a couple home runs and some big RBIs in the last 2 weeks. The guy's just a professional hitter. He's going to get every day at bats in the Mets. So that's another middle infielder I would target. I like Bryson Stott a lot. Ever since Joe Girardi got fired, I'm a Joe Girardi supporter. As a Yankee, he got us a World Series when he was the manager. But he's Rob Thomas is letting the young kids play, and Bryson Stott is showing that youth is really what this team needed, and some injection of energy. And he's taken that job and run with it. Okay, third baseman. Any other third baseman you can think of?
You had 5 hits yesterday, and he's having a horrible year. I don't want to. He's hitting like 160, but when you're hitting 160, there's only one way to go. I mean, it's Yoan Mikado of the White Sox.
He actually had a home run yesterday, even, which is rare.
He had 5 hits yesterday, Kasey Scheinfeld.
Yeah.
He had an unbelievable 5 for 6. Great game. It could be the start of something, so just keep an eye on him. Don't pick him up quite yet.
No.
But I'm just telling you, if this guy gets hot and he has all the potential in the world, I'm telling you, when they drafted this guy, I remember they were like saying this is the next coming of so-and-so. So this guy is really good. He's just starting off really bad. So it could be a start to something.
Yeah, the White Sox were willing to give up Chris Sale to get him. That's how highly thought of he was. And Chris Sale was the most dominant strikeout pitcher in the world, I think, when that trade was made. Yeah. So clearly the pedigree is there. It's whether or not he puts it all together. A few years ago, he had a pretty good season. I think the COVID year got him. He got COVID and got knocked down pretty good from it, but hopefully he comes back. I'm rooting for him. We talked about Kyle Farmer, obviously qualifies at third base. Big fan of him. Eduardo Escobar, we talked about too. And I mentioned him last week. I know that the Dodgers lineup is pretty stacked, and Max Muncy came back and had a good night, his first night back from the injured list, but the guy is still dealing with a bum ligament in his elbow, which is never a good sign. So I'm going to say Miguel Vargas, the minor leaguer for the Dodgers, who's just tearing the cover off the ball, gets on base, has power, hitting for average, doesn't strike out a lot. Definitely could be called up. Gavin Lux is inconsistent at best. So there's plenty of room in that infield for Miguel Vargas if they want to give him a chance. He's another prospect I would do.
For the Dodgers was 2 outs away from pitching. I watched that last 2 innings.
Gonsolin has been amazing.
I mean, Anderson has been just lights out. His ERA is under 2. I mean, he's pitching unbelievable. I mean, I know Kershaw's been hurt, and now Buehler's on the DL for 2 weeks at least.
No, for 10 to 12 weeks.
10 to 12 weeks. So Anderson's picking it up. I mean, the Dodgers just have such a great minor league program. It's unbelievable. I'm not a Dodger fan, so I'm just saying this.
No, I know. It's impressive. They're just well run. They were smart. They went and got Andrew Friedman from the Tampa Bay Rays system and realized that imagine what Andrew Friedman could do with his system and all the money the Dodgers bring. Because Friedman is the one who established that Tampa system as crazy good. So I agree. Like, it's amazing what they're producing. One person we forgot to mention in the middle infield, as everybody knows, or if you don't, Ozzie Albies fractured his foot, had surgery today. He's already on the 60-day DL. Orlando Arcia is coming in to fill in. All he did was come in and go 4 for 4 with the home run last night.
And he's available in 96% of your league, so pick him up.
And this guy was a top prospect in the Brewers system a few years ago. So, I mean, he's got the pedigree for it. They know he has the talent. Maybe it just took him a few years to put it together. He's going to have an opportunity in a lineup that is just amazing right now between Riley and Olsen and Swanson and Michael Harris, who we talked about. They are, 14 straight games they've won? And it's not because they're shutting out the opponents. It's because they are just smashing the ball.
Yeah, so they started slow and now they're picking it up, and the Mets are slipping a little bit. So it should be that whole division. The Phillies have had a big winning streak too. I mean, that whole division is crazy.
Right. And I didn't mention O'Neal Cruz. I've talked about him for weeks now in the Pirate system. There's no reason he should still be in the minors. They've passed the Super 2 status, so they get the extra year before he's arbitration eligible. He would be one of the best players on their roster if they call him up. In the last month, he's batting over. He has 7 home runs. He knows how to play baseball. He hits the ball harder than anybody else. There's no reason he shouldn't be owned. There's no reason he shouldn't be on the Pirates. Get him now if he's available, and hope he gets called up soon.
He plays in Pittsburgh, though. I wouldn't be running to get him, but go ahead.
All right. Outfielders. Who are your top outfielders?
So Michael Harris, I said Michael Harris is second. God forbid I don't say second. Past 8 games, hitting .433, 3 home runs. And this guy can steal bases, too. He's 21 years old, and he's fast. So this guy, I don't know how good he's going to be, but right now he's playing really well. He could be a streaker. He could be a guy you want for the whole year. I don't know. But if he's available in your league, pick him up now. Michael Harris is second. Go get him. Another guy that I like a lot is Jaron Duran. I think
Boston Red Sox.
Boston Red Sox. They just brought him up again in the minors. He was hitting .306 with 6 home runs. I like Duran a lot too. It's nothing to do with your guy that you've been talking about. Different Duran. But I know Bradley's been kind of banged up a little bit, so he's filling in for their kind of hurt outfield. But Duran is somebody that I like a lot. And somebody we talked about a lot that's hitting the ball for average is Brandon Donovan. He's hitting over 300 for the year. He's not a power guy, but he'll if your team needs batting average, Donovan's your guy. He's going to hit 300 this year. I'm telling you this right now. Another guy that was my top pickups also is Adam Duvall. Streaker. He's not going to be consistent, but the past 2 weeks he's just been terrorizing.
Yeah. If you can get him on the roster in your starting lineup and pick when his hot streak happens,
it's happening.
He can be crazy good. Those are some good picks. I'm going to add to that Elaine Thomas, one of your favorites.
I love that.
Last 2 weeks.
I can name my son Lane. It's too late now, but
last 2 weeks he's batting almost .350 with 4 home runs. He's scored 15 runs. I mean, I think amidst a really bad season for Washington, they found a really good player that can play in that outfield with Juan Soto for years to come. I also like Ramon Loriano. This is a guy who a few years ago, before his PED suspension and before COVID, was considered like one of the better power speed outfielders in the majors. He's figuring it out. He's playing really well, and in the last 2 weeks, he's batting .260. He's got a home run. He's got a couple stolen bases. He's knocking in runs. He's scoring runs. Oakland's offense is nothing to write home about. He doesn't have a lot of support around him, but this guy is talent. And at the end, talent wins. And Oakland's in a fire sale. Loriano could end up on a contender.
That's being lied about it. Anybody you want on Oakland's team, just make an offer. They'll give it to you.
Like a ham sandwich might get him. But like August and September, when you need points and you need players the most, he could go to a contender, maybe even a hitter's park, and it could be explosive for you. So that's great. Alex Kiriloff, we mentioned, plays the outfield too. But what about Riley Green? This guy was supposed to be the starting center fielder for the Detroit Tigers on opening day. I think the last week of spring training, he got hurt. Well, he's back. He's playing in the minors. He's showing that he belongs in the majors again. I have a feeling he's going to be called up soon. He's only owned in 43% of leagues. This guy's going to come up. He's your classic power speed 5-tool outfielder. It might be some growing pains early on, but he's worth holding on to and seeing if in August and September he figures it out and he helps catapult you through the playoffs. So that would be another outfielder I would consider. Did we miss anybody?
I think we're good. We gave him like 7 outfielders.
I know we did. All right, pitchers. Give me a few pitchers you like.
This guy, I don't know why he's under 6%. There's a few guys that I just question mark, like, why are you keeping some of these pitchers that ERA is over 5, but you don't have this guy? So Kell Quillenkill?
Yep. Quantrill
of the Cleveland Indians. His ERA for the year is like 277. And he's also like for the past 2 weeks, he has 2 wins and his ERA is under like 2. I mean, he's been killing it as a pitcher. I don't know why he's not picked up. I don't get it. And another guy like is Michael Wakawaka, the Boston Red Sox. Wakawaka. Another guy, he had a complete game last week. His ERA for the year is under 2. I mean, he's been tearing it up. I mean, it's just I just don't understand why he's not picked up in all the leagues either. So those 2 starters I like a lot. And another guy that was my must pickup is Hunter Green. He's like 58%, I think, right now. He's getting close. But
59 now.
59. But Hunter Green, I I mean, his strikeouts to innings is off the charts. I mean, I think I want to say, like, you know, his ERA the past 2 weeks, 0.75. The past 2 weeks, 0.75. Kasey Scheinfeld.
Yeah.
And he has like unbelievable strikeouts to innings ratio. It's off. It's the highest in the majors. Has to be. There's no one better than him.
Yeah. So Chris Atwater wants to know, what are your thoughts on Rwanzi Contreras? Is he worth keeping or not? The Pittsburgh Pirates starter. He's got decent numbers, but he got shellacked yesterday.
I mean, again, with Pittsburgh, it's just I just don't want anybody from that team. I just feel it's such like bad karma to have anybody on the Pirates. There's not one picture. There's not one picture. I know Keller's pretty good. I know people like him, and I know he's okay. I think he'll be gone. You know, I was actually having this conversation with somebody earlier today. It is amazing how good Pittsburgh Pirate pitchers become when they leave the Pittsburgh Pirates. You're looking at Garrett Cole had over a 4 ERA with the Pirates. Jamison Taillon was not very good with the Pirates. Clay Holmes had a 5+ ERA with the Pirates, going all the way back to Doug Drabeck, you know, way back in the 90s. Like, it seems like they have this pitch to Tyler Glasnow was considered is he a bust of a prospect? He goes to Tampa Bay and he's almost unhittable. Like, I just don't trust the Pirates pitchers ever. You know, maybe they're closers. Obviously, Bednar. Is it Bednar? Which one is the Pittsburgh closer? He's been amazing. I mean, he'll be gone in July. I mean, all these guys that are any good at all at Pittsburgh, they'll all be traded in July. They're not going to stay on the team. They'll all be guys that all-star break guys that are going to be traded, and that goes double for Cincinnati. Also, Castillo's going to be gone. Cincinnati will have a fire sale also. Anybody that wants any of these players they'll be. Yeah.
To just add a pitcher or two, I'm going to add Corey Kluber. Klubot is in Tampa Bay. He's not a strikeout pitcher anymore. He's not a Cy Young pitcher anymore.
The past 2 weeks, Case. I mean,
but 17 innings, a 2.12 ERA, and a 0.94 WHIP. The guy knows how to pitch, and Tampa Bay knows how to make their pitchers successful. So if you need a starter, somebody who's going to get you some innings with solid ratios, that would be good. And then I still don't understand why Diego Castillo is only 40% owned in Seattle. Past 2 weeks, 7 innings, a couple wins, a couple saves, 11 strikeouts, 0 ERA, and a 0.29 WHIP. The guy, when his changeup is on, and it looks like it's on right now, to me is almost unhittable, and he's proving that. So those are two pitchers I like. Christopher Atwater wanted to ask you about George Kirby. Kirby is obviously the rookie starter in Seattle.
I know he is.
He's got good pedigree. He's going tonight against the Angels.
I saw that. I mean, he's been so inconsistent, Chris. I just don't know if I could pick him up. He has good games and bad games. Like you said, he has unbelievable pedigree. He was drafted pretty high in the draft. I mean, I agree with all this stuff, but he just hasn't proven to me that he's can be trusted that much right now. But maybe in the future, but I would not pick him up if I was you.
Yeah, well, I would. He's one of those ones I would stream. Certainly tonight against the Angels, I would play him because the Angels are a mess offensively. Even Trout is struggling right now, which never happens. They nearly got no hit again last night. But so Kirby's probably a really good start tonight. And he pitches in a pitcher's park, so that helps too on his home games. But I would certainly be careful with who I started him against. That's the best I can say.
I mean, again, I would stay away. That's Ross the Boss talking. There's better fish in the sea, as we mentioned.
Is your boy Graham Ashcraft still pitching well?
He's hurt. He's on the DL. Case Scheinfeld. He hasn't pitched. He's hurt. Don't bring it up. It's a sore subject for me.
I apologize.
I don't know when he's coming back, but let's talk about relief pitchers.
All right. I said Diego Castillo. Give me another one.
So the White Sox closer, Hendricks, is hurt. He's not going to be pitching for 3 weeks at least. Kendall Graveman, who actually was the closer in Seattle last year, he's going to be the closer now. His ERA is under 3. He throws really hard. He's really good. Pick him up if you can. You'll get at least 3 weeks of saves out of him. So I suggest you try to pick him up. Sir Anthony Dominguez, I like a lot for Philadelphia. Philadelphia's been having major problems in their bullpen. This guy's their white knight. he'll be his ERA is like under 2. He has 32 strikeouts for the year with 24 innings pitched, which is a great. It's the Dr. Dan test. If it's more strikeouts than innings, then Dr. Dan picks him up. I know every trick that guy does, so you know Kasey Scheinfeld. So Sir Anthony, I love that name, Sir Anthony Dominguez. Yeah. I love him too, and those two are my 2 top pickups for relief pitchers this week. Yeah,
like I said, Diego, I like the Sir Anthony Dominguez pick. You can also pick up Brad Hand, who has some closing experience. He's in that Phillies bullpen too. Certainly, he'll get the opportunities, I think, if lefties are due up for them, because he's kind of a lefty specialist. Other than that, it's pretty thin for relievers. Now, you wanted to play a fun little debate game today. Did you have one in mind?
We're playing a game called Keep or Cut.
Okay.
So this only goes for redraft leagues. It's nothing to do with dynasty, nothing to do with keeper leagues. So I don't want to hear, you got to keep them because blah, 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 blah. No, you have about 8 weeks left of the season, then you start playoffs.
Deal.
So you got to be very strategic who you keep on your team. You can't keep certain players and hope they start hitting, because there's a lot of guys that we just mentioned you can pick up that are going to help your team immediately instead of waiting for these losers to start hitting. So I want your honest opinion. And again, redraft league, and you got limited amount of time, and all the players I just mentioned in our show are available. So
I'm ready
right now.
Okay.
Cedric Mullins of Baltimore. He's hitting 243, 6 home runs, 25 RBIs. Keep or cut?
How many stolen bases?
I didn't look at that stat.
If he's got a bunch of, let me look.
243, plays in Baltimore. They made their fences longer. He's not going to have the 30 home runs again last year. Don't lie.
I'm keeping him because he's got 12 steals.
Okay, so you're keeping him.
You're cutting him, clearly.
He's cut.
Okay.
I'd rather have Michael Harris the second on my team than that bozo. So there you go.
Okay.
Whit Merrifield. He's hitting 224, 7 stolen bases for the year, 3 home runs, 27 RBIs. What are you doing? What do you want to do with Whit?
I love Whit, but I'm cutting him at this point.
Yes. Casey Scheinfeld. Max Muncy. You mentioned him before.
Cut him. You don't even have to tell me the stats. The guy's got a bum elbow and he's not producing.
156. He's been hurt a lot of the year, but 4 home runs. So he's cut. Here's an MVP winner. I'm going to have him on the list. I want to see what you say. Christian Yelich, 242, 4 home runs, 22 RBIs. What do you want to do with him?
We're going on his 3rd year in a row now of subpar production. I'm not waiting for him anymore.
Yes! Casey Scheinfeld touched the MVP of the National League from 4 years ago. And then
I thought you were going to say Cody Bellinger, who I was also going to say cut, but go ahead.
We mentioned Cody recently. And then JT Ronaldo.
Real Muto.
I know you like him. He plays almost every day. So I'm saying that first. But there's a lot of great catchers out there. And you love that guy Marino. I know you got him on your fantasy team. He's hitting 243 for the year, 3 home runs, and 21 RBIs, JT. And how long do you keep this guy on your team? There's no power. The average is close to the league average, but it's nothing great. And if you could pick up Marino, or you could pick up, let's say, Contreras on Atlanta or somebody. I mean, what do you do?
It's hard to cut a catcher because catcher is notoriously thin.
How about
I would try to trade him for somebody who still believes in the value. I wouldn't want him on my roster.
Again, it's not a dynasty league. It's not a keeper league. So that all being said, your trade value is not going to be that high because he's not producing this year. And you see the stats, you're like, what do I need this guy for? So that was our little segment of cut or keep.
I like it. All right. Well, I think that about sums it up for today. We gave them plenty of good names today.
Tons of names. I mean, improve your team, folks. This is June gloom, we call it. And this is the month where you have to get ready and make sure your team is ready to start winning, because the weeks are winding down here. And we're getting fantasy football soon, which I can't wait for.
That is exciting, I know. And we're going to start releasing some draft stuff. And certainly you and the Hustler will provide the best information early. So make sure July 5th, I think that show starts for our viewers out there. We will get some messages out to all of you. Please check that out. It's going to be really informative. It's going to be helpful. Hopefully we were more helpful or just as helpful today in baseball, giving you some great names. Again, thank you to everybody who's tuned in and watched us today. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. If you like what you're hearing, click like, ring the bell for notifications. You'll get all the information you can about any upcoming shows. We appreciate the comments. Just Bob, Chris Atwater, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for all of your contributions. The Hustler, thanks for checking in. It was great seeing you on here too. We will be back again this time next week. Same way, same place. Hopefully Dr. Dan will be joining us. He'll be back. We miss him terribly. I hope we did him justice.
Yeah, he's on vacation. He's actually
he is getting some well-needed R&R with his family. We hope he has an enjoyable holiday, and we will see him as soon as he gets back. If you guys want his cell number,
I got it. You can call him and just make sure he's doing okay.
All right. Well, we'll leave that up to him whether he wants to give that one out. But thank you, Ross. Awesome information today. Thanks for the keep or cut game. I hope everybody had a good time, and we will see you next week.